Hey now. Hey now. Hey now. Football's over, everybody. We can move on now. Hey now. Oh, I forgot it again. Damn it. I got everything except the slide. Can you believe it? It's this is what happens when you try to do things during football playoffs, right? You're going to inevitably forget something. So welcome back to another episode of the Pucknologists, the only completely live, unfiltered, unedited, uncensored, commercial-free Sharks podcast, wrapping up the week in Sharks hockey, part of Teal Town, USA. Remember, if this is your first time here, to check out the cast, hit like and subscribe on the platform of your choosing. Leave your takes in the comment section if you're not with us in the live chat. And remember, every episode this season, we're giving away some goodies. And God damn it, we're giving away 2 again this week.
There's your teaser.
Oh, I'm telling you. But we're on all the social media platforms, so make sure you hit us up there. And if you want to help keep us commercial-free, you can always use a super chat option, or better yet, Venmo at Tealtown USA. Thank you so much for that. Let's go here. The Sharks are 2-1 in their last 5. And you're thinking, hey, that's not horrible. Another way to say that is they're 2-14-1 in their last 17. So, glass half full, glass half empty. That glass needs to be a different fucking size. Who knows? This week we got shutouts, shootouts. We even got a shout out. And we got another number retirement. We got another jersey leak. And Couture and Sturm finally return. So, all right, what do you want to hit first? I mean, that Buffalo game, that shutout, you're just kind of like, yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I think we spoke about it. I think we spoke about it last week. I think it might have been, where it's like historically the Sharks don't do well in Buffalo, and I know there was a while where that sort of expectation went away, and since the Sharks have been missing the playoffs, it's kind of come back a little bit. Where as bad as Buffalo is, like they'll kind of blitz the Sharks when it's in Buffalo. And we saw exactly that. I mean, that was a factor. Obviously, weather, travel delayed the game. That was all a factor. So not to, make excuses for the worst NHL team maybe ever, but, there were a lot of factors and a lot of considerations here to where I say 3-0 loss against Buffalo. Yeah, all right, whatever. Like, I didn't really think anything of it. And Buffalo is one of those teams where I think they're the victims of having to play against the Eastern Conference, like as much as they do. Like, I feel like if there was some weird universe where Buffalo was in the Western Conference, I feel like they would make the playoffs every year.
Not bad. Well, the other thing too is, if you think about it though, everybody going to be paying attention to the Sabres now after today.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just saying. And Sharks last saying, I want to know how AJ looks in the Aloha shirt because I wasn't wearing it at the game last night because it's just too small. I love.
Let me guess. They had medium and XL.
How did you know?
It's almost as if they do that every single time.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. It's like, I like a shirt that, that can breathe a little bit. I don't want it to fit like a sausage casing.
Well, not only that, but like, I obviously
double XL would not kill you.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know me personally, like I'm a large person, you are a large person. Like, we're just large people. And so,
yeah, we need something for the 6'2" crowd, eh?
Right. Like, to not like, and my big thing is like, do you know how many shirts, giveaway and regular, that fit me really well, but because I am a large person, they're just they're not long enough, right?
Uh,
And then you keep pulling it down, and then it stretches out weird. And it's the same thing with the giveaways, right? Where, I think you could make an extra large fit, but it's just like it's not the right size in the right places,
oh, dude, it's you know what? I'm gonna have to. You can see the shirt behind me. I'm gonna have to send it over to Check's wife and see what you can come up with.
There you go.
But the PK got just victimized again, and the PK record for this Buffalo game, over their last 5, they were 4 for 8, but over their last 10, they'd killed 16 out of 25. It's insane that used to be the calling card, the one thing the Sharks could hang their hat on, and this season has just become abysmal. And then pointed out in the game, it's their 44th game, and it's the Sharks scored 1 or less goals for the 23rd time, more than half. And you're going, oh, Couture and Sturm can't get back soon enough. But really, are they the ones that are, are they? Obviously, you're going to say that this team will probably pick up a couple more wins with those guys in rather than out. But still, they're not exactly dynamos at lighting the lamp.
Well, that's the thing. Like those two guys coming back, which is a good thing. You always want your best players in the lineup as much as you can, obviously, and those guys are two really important guys. But it's not as if like, oh, the tide's turning. Like here comes the playoff push. You know what I mean? Like I think you're right. You'll see. Had neither of them been able to return this year, I think we would see a few less wins, a few less goals.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, the finale is going to be exactly the same, which is, as I said at the top, the worst NHL team maybe ever. And where I give the Sharks a lot of credit, specifically in relation to Couture and Sturm, is you look at the game last night against the Anaheim Ducks, a win, obviously. But aside from the decision, that was a fun game. Like a legitimate thriller. There was action, there were goals. It was everything you wanted, except for the Sharks winning, obviously. But if Couture and Sturm coming back are going to give us more games like that, and then just fall short of the victory, I kind of think that's what's best for business at this point in time.
Absolutely. I mean, dude. Bird,
say it.
But I was going to say, Bird saying had always imagined you being a shorter guy. No, in fact, I believe Jerk has at least an inch on me, and he's taller too. Here comes the push for 27th. If the way that Quinn kind of lost his shit earlier, I think it was this week when somebody asked him, like, were you paying attention to the draft? And he's like, yeah, don't remind me about those 3 wins last season towards the end of the deal. It's like, ah. Oh. And The Athletic ran a story, I believe, earlier this week where it kind of it went down like the 10 teams, the 10 worst teams. And, say, kind of just giving a snapshot where they're at, what they're looking for over the next 5, where do you see yourself in 5 years? That kind of a deal. And what's funny is the Sharks couldn't even finish first in that list. It was the Blackhawks. The Sharks were second. I'm like, God damn it.
So, couple of things. First of all, I believe if you put us next to each other, you might be taller than me than... It's very marginal.
Ooh.
Like you are barely taller than me.
Oh, okay.
But again, you shouldn't. I
Either way, man, float something for the over 6 foot crowd, people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, the over 6 foot crowd, the people who wear larger than a size large.
Yep.
The second thing, and there's no real merit to this comment, but it made me think of a joke we make all the time. You're talking about, this ranking the 10 worst teams and all this kind of stuff. And my immediate thought, total scatterbrain, was how many teams miss the playoffs every year? 16. Okay, put out a 16 worst teams article. But yeah, it's really really unfortunate, if you ask me, that the Sharks are terrible, like god awful, right? And like it just feels like as a supporter, as a fan, like we can never have anything. Like, oh, the Sharks are historically terrible, as I've said twice now, maybe the worst NHL team ever. And it's like, nope, Anaheim sucks, Chicago sucks, Montreal sucks. And it's just like, God, like, can we have anything?
Well,
You know what I
Chicago.
mean?
Well, yeah, but Chicago has won games without Bedard.
That is true, and there's some there are some conversations in some circles, depending on the way things go the next 3.5-ish months of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Perchance Brock Faber could work his way into being the front runner for the Calder Trophy.
Yeah, I've been hearing a lot of chatter about that on NHL radio.
Yeah.
Molasses coming in. I'm taller than both AJ and Jerk. That's a win. Okay,
Yeah.
dude, calm down, Bunyan, Mr. Bunyan.
I was gonna say,
Mr. Paul Bunyan.
I think if I were still single and I was firing up the dating apps, I think I would put 6'1", but I'm probably closer to 6 feet, 6 feet and half an inch thereabouts.
Well, and Molasses is like 6'5". So.
I was gonna say Molasses is a tree. We should call him. All right, Lurch, chill.
And then Taco Cruiser. So yeah, Bettman wants celebrating.
Should I do that?
Chicago.
Really? Should I go in the Discord? This is a question for the chat. Should I go in the Discord, change Molasses' nickname to Lurch, and then disable users being able to change their nicknames?
Well, can we have to get a poll going in the
yeah, we're gonna have a conference about that.
Yeah. But anyway, the Sharks get shut out for the 7th time this season. By the way, most in the NHL. Their 6th time in the road. And the 6 road shutouts
huge.
match the most in franchise history.
Ian pointing out a good point as well. Landy is also a tree.
Yes, he is. I think he's about 6'5".
Yeah, Landy is a tree, which shocked me because you do the podcast and it's like, oh yeah, that's Landy, right? And then you see him in person, it's like, holy shit.
yeah. No, I remember he came by for a visit at one point. Came into the bar that I was working at, spinning at, and I'm all, oh, Jesus Christ! Did you hit your head on the door coming in? Like, calm down, buddy. I didn't look up the goalies for those 6 shutouts. I wish I would have. But anyway, the most interesting part, of course, of the Buffalo game was Hedican going full Remenda in the post game. Check it out.
You want to look for excuses, but you're a professional at this level, and your attitude says everything every day. The details of the way you play the game means everything, and the way you try to show up for your teammates means everything. And if you want to be a pro at this level, those are the things that you have to lead with. That's the bare minimum. And so for me, a little bit, I'm fired up today because it bothers me when you start to see the same things coming from the same players over and over again where that consistency is not there. And it's really the things that you can control, which is your body language and your attitude. And those are the things that left them completely here in the second, third, and they got exactly what they deserved today, which is a 3-0 shutout.
I was so waiting at the end of that for Randy to just look at him and go, so, Hetty, I've really enjoyed working with you. I hope you enjoy your time in Edmonton.
I think that last comment, is, for me, probably the most cutting, is they got what they deserved today. And I feel like that's kind of been, honestly, that's probably been the team mantra since the season began, was we got what we deserved. Like, how many times have we gone over the fact that, say what you want about the goaltending, say what you want about the defense, like, this is the, in terms of like the forward depth and all that kind of stuff, this is the best that it's been in 5 years. And to see, despite that fact, the worst bit of goal scoring we've seen in 5 years, like, it sort of leaves you down the path of questioning desire, questioning work ethic, questioning attitude, right?
Yeah.
And so
halfway through the season.
Right. And so I think Bret saying the Sharks got what they deserve today, like, that's like the perfect cutting statement to make. And I think it's kind of like what people like us and like fans and everything like that have like been thinking for a while,
Well, and the thing that gets me as well is the fact that I remember Quinn at the beginning of the season during camp. I think we're going to surprise a lot of people. Evidently, dude, I'm surprised how bad they suck. Like I knew it was going to be bad. I didn't think it was going to be, 2 stretches of double-digit losses bad.
That's what I'm saying. Like Quinn is technically correct. Like I am surprised by what we're seeing. Like worst, 32nd in the standings, that would not have surprised me. But the road there,
right?
Yeah,
pretty fucking bumpy, dude. Well, that is San Jose, dude. Try not hitting a pothole.
Accurate.
So, they did get 1 point out of Chicago in a shootout loss, but man, that was bad. And, Duclair did get scratched for, dragging ass in that game. Because Hedy all but called him out.
Really? I just thought of something, and I feel I need to make a comment.
Okay, because I have a comment for Tiger, and then go ahead.
So oh man, I'm. You know what? I'm gonna save my comment because I think I was wrong. So go ahead.
Okay, so Tiger saying Hedican on the radio with Ruzanowski is the best radio duel in the league, and I'll fight people over that. I completely concur with you. I wish he was always on the radio and Remenda was always on TV. I think Ruzi brings out the best in Hedican, and Hahn and Remenda bring out the best in each other. There's just a chemistry there that cannot be duplicated. Even Baker tried, and I thought he was marginally successful. But there's just those guys work together for so damn long. They just have a chemistry that works.
It's interesting talking about radio. I'm curious to know your thoughts about this. Do you know that? So
yes, I've heard of radio.
The LA Kings prior to this season, they completely gassed their radio team,
like the Sharks.
And no. Because,
I see what you're saying. They got rid of their broadcasters.
So they have a play-by-play and a color person, and the commentary that they provide is simulcast on the radio and television.
Oh,
which is I don't know that would work for the Sharks, but I found that to be interesting.
That's a chintzy cost-cutting move, my man.
Yeah, and I've thought that was interesting. I did research the point I wanted to make. So completely unrelated, but it is relevant to the Anaheim game. So you recall the comment I made a week ago about a certain player getting a contract extension if they scored a goal. Did you see how in the Anaheim game they massacred my boy and took his goal away?
It happens, man. They massacred my boy.
I needed to say that before I forgot.
Jesus. The bad thing, of course, about the Chicago game as well is that Granlund took a hit early in the third. He's going to be out. They're saying day-to-day, seems more like week-to-week.
Yeah, well, there are 7 days in a week.
Right. So, technically.
That sucks. Again, going back to the comment earlier about being exciting and being thrilling and all this kind of stuff. Like, Granlund, I think, was one of the few guys this season who was legitimately fun and interesting to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And so now that he's banged up, it's kind of like, it's again, it goes back to the point of like, can we never have anything? You know what I mean?
Yeah, can we not have one game with the full roster we intended?
Right. Like I don't know the data, but it wouldn't at all surprise me if after it's all said and done, the Sharks are miles in the lead of like games lost to injury.
Oh, absolutely. I think they are at this point.
Right.
So, and now with Granlund out, and there's another game tomorrow, people. Plenty of opportunity. Yeah, plenty of opportunity to lose someone else.
Man, that's a 7:30 game. Oh, do I tell the old boss, hey, I got to leave early, fly down 15 and get there?
Let's see. But it's one of maybe 3 games this season, by the way, that Chicago one where the Sharks actually outshot the other team. They led in almost every category, but still a loss. It's fine. And what was it? Dude, how many? It was, what? Zatz, LeBanc, Hertl, Hoffman, Cunnin, Eklund, Thrun, Barabanov, Zadina. Only LeBanc out of that. If you would have told me that out of that group, only LeBanc is putting it in the net, I would have been bullshit.
Are you talking about in the shootout?
Yeah.
That's, I mean, see, this is the really kind of shitty thing about it is LeBank's success rate in the shootout has not been the best the last couple years, but I feel like he keeps getting opportunities in the shootout, and now him getting that goal, I feel like kind of it sort of resets his shootout equity, if you will, where it's like, oh, he scored that one big goal, we got to keep rolling him out, you know.
Of course. And so anyway, and then you have the game last night, a victory, a rare victory. But hello, you got your captain back finally after what, 45 games?
Yeah.
Mikael Sturm finally comes back, and go look at the stats, dude. Couture had the best stats in the dot last night. Most success.
You know, the last time Couture missed half the season, they went to the final that year, AJ.
Hell yeah. But, dude, I mean, you talk about a nervous stat. 2 shots on goal in the first against Anaheim?
Yeah, and the fact that Anaheim had 12, too, right?
I'm saying it.
And I'm just like, I give the Sharks a lot of props in this game because, you know, there were, I mean, you look like Vlasic scores and then bang, look home right back. And then, you know, Zetterlund, you get that 2-goal lead, boom, Henrique right back, Ruta, and then boom, McTavish. So like, it seemed like the Ducks consistently had an answer for the Sharks. And what I really appreciated about this game, especially to your point, it was pretty close to a full lineup, is there was no point where like they were rattled and they were like, oh fuck, now we're only down by 1 instead of 2. We need to completely implode. Like they battled back. They played smart. Every time Anaheim made it close, the Sharks pushed it out again. Right. Yeah. And, you know, I know obviously winning is not the ultimate goal for this season, but you know, you need to have things to go off of and things to look forward to. Right. And so seeing this Sharks team with admittedly a lot of guys who aren't going to be here next year, but still some guys that will, to see that battle back, I think is really important for growth and development.
Well, and Jesse's saying the first half of that game was unwatchable. Dude, I was there. I completely concur.
Well, you know, I think
I started walking around the concourse saying hi to some friends.
Here's the thing though. The Sharks could have won this game 100-0 and people still would have been watching the Niners game. Let's be real.
Dude, yeah, you know what? I had forgotten about that.
Because literally, the Niners game concluded. I was watching with Ryan, our buddy. The Niners game concluded, and I'm like, oh, the Sharks are playing. So I like went back, saw what I missed, and
Lacey coming in. I appreciated about the game is that the teams waited for the Niners game to end before they started doing anything. Absolutely, dude, that wouldn't you have been like a little pissed if you like flipped from the Niners game over to the Sharks and it was like 6-2, you know, and you're like, oh my God, what the fuck happened, right? Yeah. But instead you went over there and it's like, oh, they haven't started yet. Fantastic.
So I'm curious to know, obviously you were there. Was there any kind of mention about the victory at all on the screen?
For the Niners?
Yeah.
You mean in the bowl?
Correct.
I don't know because I wasn't in the bowl when it happened. I was on the concourse with a bunch of Niner fans, because when it got down to the nitty gritty, we were all kind of nail biting it.
Well, yeah, and I, you know, I was looking at the stats, you know, on the old Apple Watch. There, no free ads, and you know, I you know, as for those who don't know, I've been going through a health revolution, if you will, you know, dieting and exercising and the like. So over the last 7 months, my heart rate has gone down. It's gone to more appropriate levels, but you know, the heart rate during the game last night was more close to like where it was pre-diet, and I'm like, oh shit,
take it down a level, buddy.
The iPhone health app is going to start screaming at me again if I don't chill.
Well, I almost, you know, at one point we thought about putting it on the phone to watch the game, and I'm like, God damn it, then I'll never, you know, that won't bode well for me. I'll get sucked into it. But there was
sometimes it's nice to just like, you know, let it conclude in the background. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But there was a good amount of people rocking Niners swag, and of course, I did see somebody rocking one of my Niner custom jerseys. Love
That's
that.
Awesome.
Love.
Did you know who the person was?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Dude, her husband. That's the guy who won the contest a couple weeks ago. That I was like, I'll run into him. I'll just give it to him.
Jimmy.
Yeah.
No,
So
I think you'll know you've truly made it when you see one of your jerseys out in the wild and it's being worn by like a stranger, like someone you have no clue who they are.
yeah, but,
Like that's when you'll have made it, I think.
well, I'm sure at some point the Sharks will like take one of my designs and go, you know what, we should do that. Ugh. So, and we'll get to, we have a story about that, by the way. But anyway, not the best week for the Sharks, except for getting Couture and Sturm back. But as I said, lost Granlund, lost a couple of games, and then they go through the fanfare of announcing an announcement, if you will. Joe Thornton. His number is going to be retired next season. We don't know when because, schedule's not out.
Oh.
So, of course.
Some of us have a vague idea.
Yeah. I mean, I think we can kind of, but anyway, dude, I just thought it was just kind of fucked up that, like, they go through the announcement, they've got the logo, and, it was previously rumored to have been happening on February 24th, but obviously that info ranked as incorrect. But this announcement does give the Sharks a full year to sell merch, and some of which I want to say looks a scotch familiar. I mean, I'm just saying, the one on the right done 5 years ago, the one on the left put out last week. I'm not saying it's identical. I'm just saying all the Thornton stuff, and what happens? A jersey leak just puts that fire right out. So, and you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what really, gave me a chuckle about the whole thing was, we know people who know people, we know peoples, and one of people's was like, hey, keep your ear to the ground. Something's going to happen, but don't say you heard it from me kind of thing.
Well, sure.
And then an hour later, fucking everybody on Twitter is like, hey, hey, hey. And I'm like, all right. Okay, cool.
If you don't know, now you know.
Right. I thought that was funny. But, I think, like, we're, no one here is dumb. Like, we all knew this was coming, right?
Well,
and
you're talking about the jersey or the
jersey, and specifically the fact that it's a black jersey.
Well, yeah, I mean, and see that, okay, here's my part of the story, which I think is just rather funny. Every week I put together, for those want to know how the sausage is made when it comes to Pucknologists, we have a running sheet that...
We do?
Yeah, let me let you know. But, we have what we call the rundown, things we're going to talk about, has some notes and different things, and I had under like topics to talk about for this upcoming show, I was literally, or I typed it in the day before all this shit dropped. And I was putting down, Doug Bentz all but confirmed a new third would be debuting this season in an interview just after the release of the Evolve jersey. Right. And so we're beyond the holidays. We're over halfway through the season. And despite advertising that told fans, I don't know if you remember this, but the Sharks put out advertising in mid-October that says Halloween is the last day you can buy a stealth jersey. If you go to sharksproshop.com, they still have every size still available to buy. But my point being is that I wrote, I jotted this down because it's like, how do you not have this out before the holidays?
Right.
But then again, maybe it's supply chain issues or whatever. But at the very least, I think you still could. I think it was Star Wars, like who does Star Wars toys? I want to say that's Mattel.
Okay.
Or maybe it's Kenner. I can't remember. But back in the late 70s or whatever, I remember because this was like this was kind of like the whole new Coke kind of a thing, where there was this big story that how did a company handle a fuck up? And whether it was Kenner or Mattel, I can't remember. I don't know. Somebody can go Google it if they give a shit. But they, I guess they debuted a product, or they ran ads for a product. I can't remember if it was like an action figure, a particular action figure, or like an action figure stand or something. It was something that was very much in demand, but they weren't going to have it in time for the holidays. So instead, they sold like basically these cards. They're almost like IOUs. So you could pay for the item and like put that picture in your kid's stocking or whatever. And then it would be like, if February 2nd, you'll be able to go to the toy store and turn this in for that thing you want.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So it's like they could do something like that if they know that, shit, supply chain issues, blah, blah, blah. We can roll out the new jersey. We can show everybody what it looks like and the design components and put out cool videos and stuff and use the prototype. But, still get some sales. So I don't know.
Well, and I think kind of going back to what you said is like it was very obvious, the fact that, again, when has somebody ever, like, with regards to a pro sports team, put a current jersey on discount? Never.
Exactly.
And so you think, okay, the stealth jersey's on discount again. Could it perhaps be that this might be going away? And now, obviously, that doesn't indicate that a new jersey is coming, but it indicates that a current jersey is going away.
Yep.
And as we know with sports, I mean, basketball is kind of the first one to do this, where, there's a jersey, in basketball, there's a jersey for every day of the week, it feels like. But,
so annoying.
So obviously the NHL, it's kind of the standard operating procedure where everybody has at least 3 jerseys now. Some teams have 4. And
so annoying.
So it's easy to infer that something is coming. And so to your point, why not capitalize on that and be like, oh man, like, hey, like some crazy shit's going to happen. And like, you got to be the first to get it. Like really kind of drum up that hype, as opposed to just letting people speculate.
Well,
which I do give the Sharks a lot of credit, because it feels like as soon as the leak came out, it seemed like the Sharks were kind of being tongue in cheek, like, oh, hey, what are your thoughts on this, guys? And I wish that would have been done sooner, to your point.
Well, and so you mentioned the leak. Dude, if my math is correct, this is the 4th leak. Like Heritage.
You're talking about like all time, you mean?
Yeah, for the Sharks. Like Heritage got leaked.
Yep.
Oh God. What was I know there were didn't Stealth get leaked too?
No, I don't believe. I believe it was Heritage, Stadium Series, Reverse Retro 2, and I want to say the Evolved jerseys, I believe.
Oh yeah, the Evolved set got leaked. Yeah, forgot about that. So anyway, it's just like, good God, man, Sharks, maybe just put it out quicker.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin's comment stands out to me, and
which one?
That one you're about to click on.
Is now really the right time to release a new jersey when the NHL is downsizing back to only 2 jerseys per team next season? Could not agree with you more, but it's also, I think, the case of certain things were put in motion, and
that's part of it.
You can't unring that bell.
That's part of it. Also, I'm trying to think of the best way to say this. There are some people, not anybody with the Sharks. This is from a different team. But there are some people that I've heard from where it's like, we're doing this now because when Fanatics takes over the jerseys, we want to have an Adidas option.
Ooh.
And that's just, and again, not the Sharks, and it's just one person who made this comment, but it is still something to think about.
No, I feel you. But yeah, it's like, dude, I can't remember the last time the Sharks had a new jersey that didn't leak. But either way, word is that these will be worn during the last couple months. If the Sharks follow their Thursday night thing, I'm already hearing that it's going to be sooner, but the first potential game would be February 29th versus Anaheim. And the only reason why I say that is because it is, if they follow the Thursday thing, that's the first Thursday home game. But there are there's Tuesday, Saturday, Tuesday, then Saturday, Monday, Saturday.
Because it's still, it's still Thursday, Sunday home games, right? That's still the way they do business.
I thought it was just Thursday games, but occasionally they would whip it out for Friday, like on Black Friday or something.
Yeah, I knew it. Well, I know like historically, long time ago, it was Thursdays.
Yeah.
And then
Authentic Fan Thursday. Remember that?
yeah, it was because I remember like Thursdays, like they got really serious about the Thursdays, like back when Black Armor was the thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then at some point, it became like around the time Stealth came out, actually, which is probably an Adidas thing. At some point, it became Thursday and Sunday, and now I don't really know. I mean, I don't know that it's changed, so I guess it is still Thursday, Sunday. But I mean, how often do the Sharks play at home on Sunday? Like,
Yeah. Like
almost never, I would say.
Yeah, but there was that stretch though, dude. Was there a Sunday they didn't fucking play?
Yeah.
Dude, screwing up our schedule left and right. Jesse pointing out too that like the gray jerseys for the CUDA came in like day late and $1 short, and now the store is overflowing with $400 pro stock that they can't move. I got to tell you, I'm interested in buying one of those because I love that gray jersey. But yeah, $400 for an AHL team. That's a little. If $300, I think is a better price point. But that's just me.
But again, like that is fair market value for a pro stock jersey, and I think it's a situation where the AHL is not as popular as the NHL.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Okay, see, Puck Guy knows all this stuff. So the Heritage leaked from Pure Hockey in San Jose. Stadium did not leak. The Stealth leaked from a store in Utah. That's starting to sound familiar. Then Evolve from Pure Hockey. Why do I keep saying Pure Hockey on here? And then I guess what we're calling currently the Evolve Stealth version, leaked from whoever that guy was. And then, of course, Aesthetics giving Eric, Tealtown USA, a shout out in their latest video. Nice.
Yeah, didn't give me a shout out when I told him that Stealth was going on hiatus, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's fine. Whatever.
No ill will.
I don't want to say that Puck Guy is incorrect because that wouldn't be nice, but I do recall the Stadium Series jersey leaking. It might have been a day before it dropped.
Yeah, I kind of remember that as well.
Because I remember seeing like a mock-up, like a render, and telling my buddy like, oh, I hope that's not it, and
they were like, yeah, it is.
And then it ended up being it. But as we've talked about, when we've done a couple jersey shows in the past, like that jersey has grown on me as time has passed.
Absolutely.
I should bring that back.
Yeah, no doubt. But dude, I mean, we're at like 14 different Sharks jersey designs.
That's fine.
I disagree.
Okay.
It's like, good luck. I mean, how many different jerseys do the Detroit Red Wings have?
Right.
It's just kind of like, how do you build? And I get it. It's, it's about, you want to refresh everything. Cha-ching. And, but good Lord. Anyway, let's take a look at these things, for Christ's sakes. We've been talking about it the whole time. So Carter Richard is the one who put the initial tweet out, and it has a tag, like a price tag or an item tag or whatever you call it, with the UPC and all that stuff. So clearly, this somebody cracked a box early.
Of course they did.
And yeah, which let's be honest, dude, how does this not happen more often?
Well, and again, I don't want to speak for anybody, but I have heard of things being intentionally leaked to kind of gauge the interest.
Feel you.
And I'm just saying, again, not for nothing, but the photos of these jerseys, they do look a bit professional for being a leak. Because think of, dude, 99 out of 100 leaks are some quick blurry photo from an iPhone. Like is like somebody laid this out, they smoothed it, they like got the right focus on it. Like, I don't know.
A little bit, but the thing that gets me though is like you have the entire jersey and you don't leak the entire jersey.
Maybe that's part of tickling,
the ass with the feather.
Yeah.
That's why it does make me wonder, like, is this some like guerrilla bullshit marketing kind of a thing? Because it's like, you obviously have the fucking jersey.
I would bet money that it is.
Anyway, it's like, I just don't. I mean, if you want all the goodies, all the clout, how do you not post a full picture. But then the Sharks, we're not echoing. Okay, cool. Just making sure. Then the Sharks, had a little fun with it. Said, they tweeted out some other images of the new gear, and they're like, oh, they didn't say we couldn't share this or whatever it was.
It's what's funny about that is so I was texting with a buddy of mine, and we were talking about uniforms and stuff, and specifically the gloves and the pants here. We were talking, and I was saying, I was like, I love the all teal is fun, but I wish there was some more black, to kind of break it up a little bit. And my buddy was like, well, if they were to do black pants, I guess they could do it this way, and like described like a whole layout and whole process. And then the next day, that picture of those pants comes out, and it's exactly how he described it.
Well, I mean,
and
these are almost
I wanted to ask him if he had the script or something.
Well, they're almost identical to the ones that they wore for the with the Heritage jersey. Right.
And I believe the gloves are partially or mostly inspired from the Barracuda. I could be wrong.
Yeah, no, what they wear with their I forget what their black jersey, what they refer to them as, but yeah. So anyway, let's take a look at what this thing is evidently going to look like based on the photos and what Aesthetics showed. Evidently, Aesthetics has seen the entire thing. And based on an email that went out to season ticket holders, they're doing a State of the Sharks event this Thursday. And Mike Greer and Jonathan Becker are going to be taking questions, but they are going to debut the show off the New Jersey, which, of course, kind of had to at this point because you would have had everybody asking about it. Should note in this photo rendering or mock-up, whatever you want to call it, the collar, that real thin line at the top should be also teal if you want to get like super duper pedantic. I'm not a fan of this. Well, let me show you why I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, do your thing.
Here are the ideas that I have that I think could have done better.
Okay.
What do you think?
Well, if you're asking me to pick between the two, I would prefer the one on the right.
That's fine.
But between these two and then what the potential mock-up is, like, to me, the difference is marginal. I think I actually like the thick stripe along with the little thin stripes. The thing is, like, a mock-up is so hard to go off of. You know what I mean? But I think just looking at this, I think I like it. I mean, it goes without saying, I like it more than Black Armor. I think I like it maybe a little bit more than the Stealth jersey, which I was one of the few to like the Stealth jersey, which I think says a lot. So I don't hate it. I actually quite like it. And I think when we see it in person, I think it's going to win a lot of people over.
See, my favorite black jersey, it's always going to be the first one. I always like the chevron striping.
Well, that's the right answer, of course. But but I mean, dude, like, we could spend an hour talking about jerseys.
We have.
Like, we've spent many hours. But like, how many times when we talk about jerseys, how many times have we gone back to the
OG stuff, man?
Have we gone back to the well of, okay, if you're going to do a third jersey, do it in a different color than your regular one. That's this. And do a different logo than your regular one. The Stealth jersey dipped its toe in it a little bit, but that's what this is right here. Like, obviously, a different crest logo than has ever been done before, different shoulder logos that have ever been done before. Like, the Sharks, assuming this is it or close to it, the Sharks get an A+ for creativity.
Yeah, I mean, they understood the assignment.
Right.
But I don't know. I like the way the Rangers one came out a lot.
Sure.
And this seems to be kind of like, I don't know that this is a case of the Sharks were kind of like, let me copy your homework. And the Rangers were like, okay, but just enough so, to borrow that meme. But so based on that, that's why I kind of like this, these ideas better. Like, you could have one, kind of thin white stripe in the middle, or just go full on teal. But I will say most people, they don't have a problem with the striping. Every complaint that I've seen is they all say that shoulder patch does not belong on as a crest. So,
which
I don't know. I mean, they did a warm-up series where they had that logo, albeit it was the original, circle fin logo. But they had that as one of their warm-up series, and I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, I agree. And I kind of think, I don't know, if you ask me, like if you're gonna say, like, I don't know, like at a certain point you're just counting grains of sand, right? Like I think it's never been seen as a crest before, so I don't know that you can comfortably say no, it shouldn't be. But also, like, this is what people want. Like, people want creativity and things that are different and fun and all this kind of stuff, and now you get it, and it's too different than what's normal. You know what I mean? So,
well,
I don't know.
And we don't know if the number font is going to be the same as their current Evolve. You know,
Sure.
and seeing that's something that I would dig. Like, do a different font set. Like, go back to the original set if you're going to use like some of the original stripes, like they went to with the Evolve. It was clear that it was influenced by that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, I don't know. I think it has the potential to be, maybe we'll have to do a power ranking, but I think it has the potential to be a top 3 alternate jersey of all time.
Well, and here's an idea. This may be considered revolutionary by some people, but let's throw it out there anyway. What if we wait until we actually see it in person before we shit all over it?
Well, dude, that's exactly like the Evolve. Like, every Sharks jersey that's ever come out, pretty much, that's been the marching orders. Like, do you remember?
Well, I loved the first reverse retro Sharks jersey.
Me too. I was literally just telling Ryan, I might be the only person on planet Earth who liked that jersey.
Yeah, no, I dug it.
Yeah, if the back numbers and letters weren't teal, that's A+.
And, see, and I liked that. I mean, it's obviously it's hard to read. Like, I think it would have been cool if they'd done a white outline.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But like, you think about it, like, every single jersey that has come out ever for the Sharks, it feels like people see mock-ups and they see leaks and they get all stressed out about it, and then it actually comes out, and the villagers calm down. Like, we saw, if you remember, this would have been 2013 when they switched from the Reebok Edge with the black shoulders to just the all teal version. And I remember thinking at the time that what are we doing here, guys? And then you see them in action. Wow, those are actually really crisp. And then the Evolve jerseys, I thought the Evolve jerseys and the whole uniform set sucked. So on some level, I still do. But seeing them in person, they've really grown on me a lot. It's the same thing with the Stealth jersey. It's the same thing with Reverse Retro 2.0. Like, that one is choice for being a white jersey. Like, I love that one.
Yeah.
And so I feel like, to your point, mock-ups, leaks, like, yeah, you can get a vibe, but like, you don't really know until you see it with full pads in game action.
Yeah. And Puck Guy coming in saying San Jose has unveiled 14 jerseys since 2007. So 14 jerseys over 14 years.
That's fine.
That's too much, man. and I don't mean to be nitpicky, but to sit there and say next wave and then next wave Adidas, it's the same fucking design. I don't care that the collar's slightly different.
I will bang your head on the wall until you get it. They are not the same. They're similar. I will give you similar, but not the same.
Whatever. Okay.
That's counting grains of sand.
Dude. So, I mean, look, this is pretty predictable if you look at all the available merch since the Evolve release and everything. And they kind of, I remember, I want to say it was Doug Bentz, but it was somebody from the Sharks that I remember them trying to be really cute and coy about the logo that they have at center ice. Like, you're going to see that featured on other things, and blah, blah, blah. So it was like,
oh, really?
Yeah. So it was like pretty obvious that this, logo was going to be on the next, featured as the crest of this jersey. So, I don't think it was, I don't know. I don't think we had to contact SVU to figure this out. But anyway, there you go. So Thornton, oh yeah, so we would have talked about Joe Thornton, but we had to go dive into the jersey thing because it got leaked and ruined the announcement. So, I mean, this was fait accompli, right? I mean, it was pretty fucking obvious. I'm a little surprised that there was a season in between, right? But Thornton still hadn't put submitted his retirement papers until like what, October?
Right. All of last season he didn't play, but he was still a free agent technically.
Yeah. And so now that it's fine, but still, it's like, even if he put that shit in October, I wonder if the Sharks were like, look, we'd love to do something, certainly this season when we could use the goose on, goose in the numbers. But no, we're going to, this time we're going to sell extra merch and make some money that way.
Yeah, you want to build the anticipation.
Yeah. And, dude, and I'm sure you're looking forward to a pin. Perhaps a patch, if you will.
Don't think I haven't already asked.
But the one thing that came out of the Thornton thing, and I do believe Ian was at the game when the Sioux, the Greyhounds, released or retired his number. So,
you talk about pins. I got a pin from that game. It's really cool.
Oh shit, yeah. But dude, how's this for buttering your toast, frying your egg? From Thornton's first game with San Jose on December 2nd, 2005, to his last on March 11, 2020. So 15-year stretch there. The Sharks had the NHL's best record and points percentage. Dude, let that sink in.
So what you're saying is
Joe Thornton, pretty good player.
Team with good player does good. More at 11.
Oh, well, and not only that, and this is the guy that got ranked 101st in the NHL's 100 list, right? Whew.
That's what they say.
All right. So, moving on, after all that talk about Couture returning during the road trip, he didn't until last night, but with just a week and a half to go, do you think it was worth? I'm not saying that they rushed him back by any stretch, and clearly, if Chief is ready to go, then go. But I don't know, do you think it was, or at the very least was Couture was like, if you like, I'm going to start skating for the Barracuda if you don't let me play a fucking game.
Well, I think even in a lost season, like as a pro athlete, you don't want to go too long without skating at game speed. You know what I mean? Like if it's a situation where he doesn't play all season, right? Then by the time he does get to suit up, it's going to be like 18 months between games, and that can screw with you. And so I think, of course, as long as the health is there, but if he is healthy, I think it is important for him to play.
Cool.
And as soon as he's ready, I think you got to get him back in there.
Yeah, but the thing that just makes me a little nervous, agitated, frustrated with this whole thing is he comes back and immediately you get tacos, and I'm like, fuck. God damn, this is going to be the fucking thing that tilts it, isn't it?
So how many taco games did I need? Grand total, was it 8?
7.
Seven.
And they're at 3 right now, dude. They need to average.
Here we go.
Dude, they need to average 1 out of every 5.
Dude, I'm just saying.
Dude, you were ready. I had to talk you off the ledge a couple weeks ago on this. You're like, oh, fuck, there's no way they're going to hit this. And then all the Couture comes back and you're like, hey.
Well, that's like, that's like one of my shticks, though. If you follow me on Instagram, which nobody in this
you're like comfortable
does.
The whole time.
But yeah, dude, like the Niners game last night, especially, like, dude, that thing was for the entire second half. That thing was pins and needles, like you said.
and you were like,
game over.
Totally
never in doubt. Never in doubt. And so, like, again, like whatever it was 2 weeks ago when I was really bearish on 4 goal or getting 7 total home games with 4 or more goals, and then Couture comes back, does it, and it's like never in doubt, baby. Never in doubt. I'm just saying, dude, playing like. I'm kind of horse-eyeing that Buffalo game. Actually, I'm kind of horse-eyeing both of the games this week. Rangers have been a bit fraudulent lately, and then like Buffalo, Buffalo is always a roll of the dice, I feel like.
Yeah, especially at home for some godforsaken reason. I don't know. The buzzsaw that I don't want to see right now is Edmonton.
Well, good thing we don't see him for a while.
Yeah. Ooh. Are we done with them? Or no, we're done with Vancouver, right?
We have Edmonton.
And I shouldn't say we. That's so bad.
The Sharks have Edmonton one more time. It's the penultimate game of the season.
Whoa.
Hey,
Dude, no, it's because that might be the most misused word I've ever heard.
You think so?
Oh, dude, I somebody else used it incorrectly the other day, and I'm like, that's not what you think it means.
What do you mean somebody else? I just used it correctly.
Yeah, no. Oh, okay, my bad. You understand what I was saying? I heard somebody else use the word, but they used it completely wrong, and I went, oh, it's not what you think it means. Anyway, top of the hour. Hero.
I know words. I have the best words.
Hero and Zero, bro. I mean, you can go with Couture, whatever. Go ahead.
Low-hanging fruit are still nutritious, man.
Getting me my tacos.
Logan Couture, first game back from evidently a really debilitating injury.
Oh God, dude! Like I got about 5 words into that story, and I just like crossed my legs, and I'm like, no. Especially after what I just went through a month and a half ago.
Admittedly, something I'd never heard of either.
Me neither.
But so obviously happy he's healthy, of course.
But it was definitely like, wait, that's a thing?
Right. But, he comes in first game of the season. He gets that assist. It felt like he played with some confidence, too. He played the body a little bit. Yeah. And I, thought he played well. I thought, again, we know what the marching orders are for the Sharks this season. But to come in, kind of provide that shot in the arm where it's like, yeah, like our captain and one of our best players is back. It's kind of like, whatever your thoughts are about Logan Couture, like, players on the Sharks, like, well, it's obvious to me that they'll go through a wall for him. And so seeing kind of that jolt to the lineup, I think is really good for them.
I mean, he's no Joe Pavelski, but
who?
Mine, and I alluded to it earlier, dude, the special teams, man. The power play went 0 for 6 and are 0 for 11 in the last 5. And the Sharks gave up a power play in every game this week. And like I said, they're 0 for 6. Over this past week. So yeah, special teams. Like one of you guys fix it. I don't care which one. Either keep them out or put them in. But one of you guys pick a lane. Zero time. Go ahead.
I hate to do it. I hate to massacre my boy like
Say
this.
It.
But
how they massacred my boy.
but Alexander Barabanov.
Oh!
I know. I hate to do it, but it just feels like this season coming back from the injury, like he's not been it, like he, as long as he's been on the Sharks, he's been a value player, like constantly in the top of like points per dollar. Right. And this year is just not it. And obviously like the offense isn't coming, but also there seems to be like a lack of crispness to his game. And so whether you're on team maximize the value and trade him, or whether you're on team re-sign him and keep him as part of the smoothie mix here, like you got a lot of questions no matter what camp you're in.
No, I want to maximize that value, but like I'm hoping Couture brought the cheat code for Barabanov.
Hope so.
So, well, we're going to see how that plays out. For me,
do we think he misses Timo Meier?
Who?
Barbie.
No, I meant who's Timo Meier? Probably not. Who knows?
As time has gone on, I've cared less and less that Timo is gone. Is that bad?
No. And in fact, there was just a thing about that. Who was it? It's like since Timo has gone to New Jersey, it's like, he switched numbers and everything. They're all switch back. You suck. He's had injury issues. He's like down onto the second power play unit now. Like it has not worked out for him aside from his bank account. So fans are chasing him a little bit. Meanwhile, Zetterlund's just like putting up career highs left and right. And you're kind of like, yeah, I think this worked out all right.
I was going to say, I'd be curious to know, not so much because of Timo Meier, but just because of the personnel the Devils have. Like, I do wonder if he finishes that contract in New Jersey, right? And, going back to what you said about
5 on it and just be like, never in doubt.
and going to what you said about the number thing, like I'm definitely a stickler. I'm definitely a stickler when it comes to like numbers. Like,
you got the numbers.
If I was a pro athlete, which I'm not. If I was on a team and they didn't have my number, and so I had to get a different number. Guess what? As long as I'm on my team, that number is my number. Like, I'm not changing. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
who was it? I thought there was some player that was just kind of like, I don't give a fuck. You know, like whenever they changed teams, it was like, this is the number they gave me. I'm trying to think who that was, where it seemed like every time they played, they, you know, and who?
well, there are some players that kind of they adopt the number that's assigned to them, you know, because 96 is Meyer's number, but for whatever reason, you know, after last season, he felt compelled. I guess he got attached to the 28, and so wanted to go with it. But I would have kept 96, dude. 96 is a cooler number.
That's what I'm saying. Well, and I mean, geez, how many different numbers did Alex Korolyuk have?
Oh, dude, ask Ryan. He's in the chat.
Like 5?
If I could learn how to spell his name, I would tell you.
But I mean, Korolyuk, didn't Scott Hannon? 4? Okay, didn't Scott Hannon have like 3 different ones?
Hannon had
like 22, 27, and something else.
One, yeah, those 2 that you said were like legit numbers he wore. I believe the third number was kind of like oh, hey, we just called you up and we don't know what you are number.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, 4 for Scott Hannon. So he wore 6, then 43, which nobody fucking remembers that, and then 22, which he was most famous for.
Yeah. No,
and then
43, I do remember.
I don't remember that shit. That's before my time.
Yeah.
Like when I think of Scott Hannon, I think 22. And then obviously 27. Like, it's so funny. Like Scott Hannon that wore 22 and Scott Hannon that wore 27, 2 completely different players. And so kind of depending on what context we're talking about him determines what I have to say.
But yeah, it's funny how there's some guys that are just like, yeah, they're so anal retentive about having that number, and there's other guys like, yeah, whatever. I'm just here to play, man.
I'm somewhere in the middle because like I'm again not a pro athlete, but I do play hockey, and so you know I have my number that I like. If it's available, I'll take it, obviously, and then I have a backup number. You know, but then if the number I want and the backup number are not there, then it's like, what's available? Okay, this. And then from that point on, it's kind of like, okay, as long as I'm on my team, this is my number, even if my preferred number comes available.
Yeah. Well, and then you see guys that there's obviously something is derivative. It's, I mean, like 8 for Pavelski, and then he just doubles it up in Dallas.
Well, so I'll tell you this. If you want to get into the numerology of it.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah, I know words. So my number when I play hockey, my number is 10. But 10 has been my number since I was a kid. And so
whatever
my
you say, Ehrhoff.
And so my backup number, should 10 not be available, is 55. What's the significance of 5 and 5?
Yeah, add them together.
That's 10.
Thank you.
There you go. Numerology.
Yeah, or so you see something like that, or you see guys that just invert it, you know? Oh, 28's not available, I'll take 82.
I'll never forget. So you remember Steve Bernier? He
don't remind me. But who were like the 3 players the Sharks could have taken and didn't for Bernier?
Right. But no, Steve Bernier, he was 26 on the Sharks, and then when he got traded to Buffalo, he just flipped that 2 upside down, and it was 56.
Yep.
And so I'm always really into the numerology.
That's fun. Did I even do my 0?
No, you did not.
did you do yours?
Yeah, I said Barabanov.
Okay. Mine's Duclair. Only because I was dude, you dragged ass on Monday. You got scratched the next game, and I'm just thinking to myself, how are you getting coaches scratched on this team with 7 weeks until the deadline? Like, come on, bro. If anything, you should be hauling ass. Like, your get up and go needs to be going hard over the next 6-7 weeks as that deadline approaches. You know you want to get out of San Jose. Like, come on, bro. Get her done. All right, so let's go on to some NHL stuff. I mentioned it earlier, dude. What the hell is going on in the Pacific Division, the Western Conference, dude? Western Conference, they got the most points. You know, team with the most points, the most wins. And I told you, I don't get the pat on the back from myself. I don't get the what do you call it? The self-congratulating hand job.
Okay, that is a phrase I've never said.
But dude, like, it's not often that I get to rub one out over something that I nailed, and I didn't exactly nail it, But didn't I tell you just like a few weeks ago? And I'm like, dude, Edmonton's going to push somebody out of that top 3 spot.
Yeah, you did speculate that.
I kind of was. I think it was more that I was hoping it would be Vegas, but right now it's L.A. But see, that's the other thing I didn't foresee coming. What the fuck is going on with L.A., man? People are banging down doors to get T-Mac out of there, and I don't think it's on him.
Well, here's the thing, and we've talked about this. We talked about this like going back a couple of years, back when we did our L.A. Vancouver wager. Right, is how many times did we say, hey, LA is, they're on the come up, like they look really good, they got a lot of really interesting names there, but the defense is not where I want it to be if I'm a fan of that team, and the goaltending is a bit of a question mark. And think about what has transpired since then. Like the forwards, that the LA's group of forwards is probably like the best group of forwards in the NHL, or damn near close to it. But you look at their defense, like it is Drew Doughty, which is a good name, Mikey Anderson, Matt Roy, like these are Gavrikov, these are good quality defensemen, but you're not really getting a lot beyond that, and you're also not really getting a lot from them either, right?
Mm-hmm.
And specifically Roy and Gavrikov, I think, I don't think anybody would be upset if they played a little bit better. And then in goal, with obviously they had Jonathan Quick forever, right? But then it was, then it's Phoenix Copley, and then it's Jonas Korpisalo, and then it's Cam Talbot, and then it's Big Save Dave, and it's like they've played well enough, but they're crumbling when it matters most, and
well, dude, like Talbot's numbers over like the last month are horrific. And Dave's are really good, and I'm like, why is Dave not starting more games?
Well, and did you see? I think it was Todd McClellan. He said Dave's going to be the starter for the foreseeable future.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go. Yeah, Talbot, You played yourself out of a job yet again.
And Race Fan Rocks is making the point about getting Dubois. It's kind of understood that L.A. kind of got bent over on that Dubois trade, just what they gave up. Which Dubois is a good player, but to give up that many pieces for to a team that's trading from a position of disadvantage is just wild. But
it's too bad it didn't work out for Winnipeg. How are they doing right now?
No, it's working out. Like
no, that's my sarcasm. It's like, dude, like Winnipeg is killing it this year.
And that's what I'm saying. You have a really good player that you have to trade away because he doesn't want to be on your team. Every team is dying to pull the heist that Winnipeg pulled. But when they acquired Dubois, I think you and I talked about it. I talked about it with Ian. I talked about it with Puck Guy. Like we all talked about it. Like, why are the Kings the Kings forward group is already really good? Why are you adding to it? Add a defenseman. Like you re-signed Gavrikov, awesome move. But like get some guys in to complement him. Get a freaking goalie that's not, known for, as Ian alluded to in the chat, not known for being Cinderella. Yeah. Right? Like the Kings were rumored to be looking at Thatcher Demko, rumored to be looking at UC Saros. Like what happened? Like go back to that one, Dude.
Well, and then how many times are you talking about, can't wait for next Shark season when Swayman's in the pipes?
Dude, that's my pipe dream. I think I'm just trying to manifest at this point.
The other thing though I wanted to ask was like, dude, I'm not saying that we all like a good conspiracy theory here, but dude, are the NHL can't possibly be coddling the Penguins, right, dude? Because I was running through their schedule, dude. They play 2 games over 10 days, and if I remember correctly, those 2 games they're back to back. That is
weird, but I wonder if they
and
play.
Then they only play 5 games over 24 days.
They got to. Either they already made it up or they will make it up at some point. There's no way that they don't have a big slate of games.
Dude, I'm telling you, man. It was just a weird fucking thing that when I was looking up some schedule stuff, I'm like, wait, can this possibly be right? But lo and behold. Anyway, the big thing that came out, dude, this scares the shit out of me. Streaming services looking to be dipping their toes in. Amazon has invested in Diamond Sports, and that's I believe that they're kind of like the rights holder or the RSN for some different markets, including Detroit. They currently air Tigers, Pistons, and Red Wings games. And as reported by the Associated Press, the 2024 Detroit Tigers season will be available on Amazon Prime. But it probably won't be part of the standard Prime package, but likely available as an add-on feature that you have to pay extra for. This is how it starts, man. This is how it fucking starts with the nickel and diming, man. And it would, I'd be shocked if they don't if they don't try to come up with some way to geofence this. You know, like if the way you're logging in is, I mean, dude, VPNs are going to go through the fucking roof in the greater Michigan area to get to get around this shit. But I mean, or it's great news if you're a Detroit fan that's not in that area and wants to watch, Tigers games. But I'm telling you, this is how it starts. And evidently the current TV contracts, there's 2 more years with Canada, and I'm assuming TSN, 4 more years with the U.S.
Well, no, the Canada deals with Rogers Sportsnet.
Oh, okay, there you go.
But I've heard, and we'll see what happens, but I've heard that when the bidding process comes up, that Rogers might not bid to retain the national rights, in which case TSN would probably fight to get them back because they had them before Sportsnet did.
Yeah. Well, either way, though, if the streamers are going to start, I mean, we all saw everybody lose their shit when Amazon had a playoff game. What was it? It was Miami and Buffalo, I want to say.
This year?
Yeah, like just 2 weeks ago.
It was Peacock that had it. It was Miami and KC.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, but Peacock. Well, see, and that's the whole thing. There's all these goddamn. I love a choice, but it's to the point now. I'm like, what? Where the fuck am I supposed to watch this now?
Okay, but let me ask you this. So, everybody was peeing in their pants about Dolphins Chiefs being on Peacock, but did you know that was the most streamed
event like
NFL
ever?
Game of all time? Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that's the whole thing. Like, goddamn, I'm not, this pisses me off. Well, did you pay to watch it? Yeah. Then shut up.
Well, I think because what people realize is that a lot of cable packages will give you Peacock if you have the cable package. Like, and I know, like, you can get discounted Peacock if you have Comcast. I believe you can get free Peacock if you have DirecTV, I want to say. So, and not only that, but like Peacock, like for how cheap Peacock is, like you actually get pretty quality stuff on there. Like it might be the best value streaming service out there, right? And
see, and that's the other thing though. I know we have Peacock in addition to like the other 5 services. I know there's something on there that I watch. I just can't remember what the hell it is because again, for some reason, it's like growing up or whatever. Like if you said a popular show, I would like for whatever reason, the network automatically associated it, in my head. It was like Friends, Cheers, Seinfeld, NBC.
Sure.
Roseanne, Home Improvement. Okay, that's ABC. CBS, that's for old people. At least back then it was. But it was like I totally now, with the exception of like Letterkenny and Shoresy, which I know is Hulu. Speaking of which, looking forward to trying this bad boy later, little Gus and Brew. But I haven't gotten to that point where I associate certain shows with certain streaming platforms.
Okay, which I understand. I have all the streaming platforms, so I'm a little bit different than you in that respect. But let me tell you this.
Yeah, whip it
so
out. Say
I
it.
have I have Netflix. I have Netflix.
Yep.
Netflix, Hulu,
Yep.
Disney Plus.
Okay, I don't have Disney Plus.
Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Prime Video, Peacock, and Paramount Plus. I have all of those.
I don't have Paramount, but I have the other two that you listed. But I also have Max.
Right. So I have all of those services that I listed: Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Peacock, Paramount Plus, Prime Video. I have those 6 services, and all told, if you break it down on a monthly basis, it costs me between $60 and $70 a month for all of those. I would rather pay that and get this massive content library across all these streaming services than pay $100, $120, $150 for Cox Cable, which is here. Like, I would make that decision 10 times out of 10.
No, I feel you on that. It's just, for the longest time when I had DirecTV, if you cracked open the bill, there'd be like a little $7.99 charge on there that would say regional sports access or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that meant, the CS or the NBC Sports or the CSNs or whatever, where it was, those are the 2 channels that I get, so I can watch the A's, the Warriors, the Sharks, and the Giants. Fine,
Sure.
An extra $8 on there. I'm just, I feel like we're going to get to a point where it's, oh, you want to watch the Sharks? Well, that's, an extra $5 a month that's going to go through Prime. Oh, you want to watch the Giants? That's an extra $7 a month that's going to go through Peacock. And it's, again, my whole thing is like, this is the way it fucking starts. The other thing, though, I guess, is that it probably will be Peacock because that's NBC affiliated. And right now, NBCS Bay Area, NBCS California. But the other thing that was even more concerning to me that came out, it says the NFL may buy a stake in ESPN. Makes you wonder about other sports, leagues buying in a stake into the television aspect of it. But the big thing is that the death of their sports journalism? Because if the NFL has a stake in ESPN, what's to say that, okay, we understand that, what's the guy that, I forget the Kelsey brothers' names, but what's the one that's dating Taylor?
Travis.
Okay. And it's like, so ESPN, one of their journalists or whatever, comes across something, I have evidence that Travis is, cheating on Taylor with like hooker. We have like pictures of him doing hookers and blow. And the NFL are going to go, maybe don't talk about it.
I don't know. I just be, the NFL potentially buying a stake in ESPN. I don't know that makes sense because they have contracts with Fox, with Paramount, which is CBS, and with Comcast, which is NBC, and Amazon. Like, they have television contracts with all these networks. So it's like, I feel like, if they were to get into business with one specifically, I think the others might be like, hey, like, what the hell are you guys doing?
Uh-huh.
I mean, as it is, like, and this, the Super Bowl rotation was CBS, Fox, NBC for a million years, right?
Well, and wasn't ABC in there too?
Well, no. So here's the thing. So it was CBS, Fox, NBC, ABC, which is ESPN.
Yeah, it's all Disney.
Purchased their way into the rotation. And a couple years ago, they purchased their way into the rotation, and by all indications, people at Fox, CBS, and NBC were triggered about that. Wow. So I can't see it being prudent for the NFL to get in bed with one network over the others.
Oh, my God. And then Chris coming in, ESPN signing McAfee was there. How do you do, fellow kids moment? Dude, totally. Oh, my God. And then earlier this week, Sports Illustrated fired everybody. I don't know, dude. Journalism is just we're becoming North Korea at this point, where it's just everything.
Okay, that's extreme.
Well, you know what I mean. It's
no, I literally have no idea what you mean.
It's the idea of just fucking state media, bro.
There's no way I agree with that whatsoever.
You don't think that if the NFL has a stake in ESPN, they're not going to put their hand on the scale?
Dude, the NFL, dude, we see this with the Sharks. Like, they already have, these teams in these leagues, they already have a stake with, not financially, but sort of a different kind of stake in all these networks, and everything is fine, dude. Chris mentioned Pat McAfee, dude. What was it? 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, Pat McAfee is saying on air, yeah, so and so from ESPN really jam jobbed us, like called out an ESPN employee on ESPN. He's not off the air because people know, hey, that's the shit that people want to hear. Like there's no shot.
Let's see what happens over the next 5 years. Let's see where this goes. Put a pin in it for right now.
Even if it does, even if your thought does come to fruition, guess who that's going to give ammo to? People like us.
Well, and see, that's the other thing is, and Chris mentioning it as well. It's like, oh, we were so ahead of our time, because, dude, the game and KMBR, dude, they've axed their shows that came on in the evening. Anything after 6 p.m., it's all, oh God, what do they call it again?
Paid programming?
No, not paid programming. It's where they, they play something from like New York or whatever.
Simulcast?
There you go. Yeah, it's a simulcast to something else. But yeah, it says the game and KMBR is streaming, and they're streaming on YouTube now, where you see the guys in the studio, and like,
I just find like all of the false flags and all of the screaming and yelling about how progress and evolution is hurting people. Like, I think it's all just bullshit. Like, if society didn't like, okay, so, print journalism is dying, network cable is dying, and we have to go to streaming and online journalism. Like, big fucking deal. Like, society's been evolving for 10,000 years. Like, you think, like, we're not where we are right now because we've done the same thing over and over and over again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So syndication, by the way, Ian had it syndicated.
Right. So, like, when people on the internet, say, oh my God, I used to get the newspaper in print, and now it's just an email PDF. It's like, who fucking cares? Like, you're getting it. Quit your bitching.
Yeah, but see, that's to me is comparing apples and airplanes only in the regard of the fact that you're still getting your news or whatever, but it's the fact that everything is so instant now. It's like we came up in a world that, dude, when you ordered something, it was allow 6 to 8 weeks for delivery.
Yeah, but what's wrong with progress and evolution?
I'm not saying anything is wrong with progress and evolution, but I don't want to be nickeled and dimed over it.
Sure, which is fair. That's fair.
It's the whole thing. It's like, well, when I paid this fee, I got A, B, C, E, F, D, whatever, and now I pay that same money. I'm only getting A and B. And now you're going to charge me for all these, nobody likes getting charged suddenly for shit that they were getting free forever. Speaking of charging, Mitya in the chat. Random question. I want to buy my first Niners jersey. There's nothing good on Fanatics. Where do I go? Well,
so
go ahead. I'll be right back.
Well, and so obviously everybody's situation is going to be different because not everybody lives in the same city. But I came to the same kind of determination that you did, Mitya, a product of not liking what was online, but also not wanting to give Fanatics my money.
Hey, now.
And and again, like, anybody who's a Niners fan knows how fucking stupid this is. But like, you go on Fanatics.com, at least you did at one point, and you pull up a Christian McCaffrey jersey, and it says, whatever it says, a few left, soon sold out, and
God, I hate that.
It's like, give me a break. Like,
Fuck
tell me
off.
like you're just not gonna have jerseys of the best player on the team. Like, come on. So a product of not liking the selection and not wanting to buy it through Fanatics, I went to total old fashioned. Like, there's a sports memorabilia store at the Vegas Outlet Mall that sells all that shit. I went down there. I put my eyes on everything to verify that I was getting a good item at a good price and all that kind of stuff. I don't want no fake bullshit. And they had the jerseys. I guess the NFL has 3 tiers. They got the replica, they got the retail authentic
See,
and
this,
the pro style. And
do we really need 3 tiers?
right. And so I'm like the highest tier that's available to purchase. That's the authentic, quote unquote. I'm like, all right, that's the one I'm going to get. And the salesperson was like, oh yeah, McCaffrey. I don't know. You definitely want to get that. I don't know. I don't know if we're going to get many more of those. And I'm like thinking, yeah, okay, guy, chill. Like, come on. that's like saying like again, to your point earlier, that's like saying, oh, I don't know if we're going to have any more Patrick Marleau jerseys. It's like, really? You don't know? Like,
well, and the thing that sucks.
My roundabout point is that if you're looking for a football jersey, you can find quality items that you're looking for at your kind of, whatever you want to call it, sports memorabilia, sports merchandise store. Like I forget the name of the place that I went, but it was very much like if you remember Sports Fever, like is very very much akin to that.
Yeah, I liked Sports Fever. See, the thing is that unfortunately, you kids will never know. Before Santana Row existed,
yep,
that was a town and country shopping area. And in there was a place called the 49er Fan Club. Mm-hmm. And this place just had the entire ceiling was just jerseys hanging, and none of back then I guess this was before the retail explosion. There was no such thing as replicas.
Right.
It was all legit shit. They had, and they had everything, dude. You're like, do you happen to have an 8x10 of like Y.A. Tittle in that game against Green Bay? And they're like, oh yeah, right here. I mean, dude, just insane amount of choice, and unfortunately, they went out of biz. But Mitya, to answer your question, and I did notice that you said you're in the Bay Area. If you're looking for something that is 49ers and something of quality, I'm just saying I have one of these left.
Okay, I'm glad you're showing that off. I want to ask you a question.
And it hasn't been personalized yet. So
I want to ask you this.
You can go Bosa. You can go LeBanc. I don't know who would do that. But
so let me ask you this.
Say it.
So I notice you have the Niners 75th anniversary patch on that jersey.
Yeah, to cover the Adidas one because it just looks cooler with it.
Question 1, do you have any more of those? And question 2, if the answer is no, where can a brother get one?
No. Dude, I found them on eBay.
Fair enough.
Found a legit dude.
Because I would love a pin of that logo, but I mean, I would take a patch.
Yeah. Well, I'll see what I can come up with. But anyway, what the fuck were we talking about? Oh yeah. So the death of sports journalism and all of this stuff. It's weird to see like guys like Damon Bruce who were on the game and on KNBR doing their thing, and now they're on YouTube. And I hate to say it, it's
say it.
I used to listen to Damon somewhat religiously on when he was on 1050. When he switched to the game, for whatever reason, towards the end, I don't know. I felt like those, I don't know, a lot of Warriors talk that I didn't give a shit about. But I like what he's doing now on his podcast. We're probably going to have him on at some point. The thing is that he's just not a big Sharks guy, so we're going to have to, I don't know, do something about that. What's Felix saying here in the chat? Thing about the whole nickel and diming thing, I've watched a fair amount of CNBC because parents watch. I don't see that method of profit going away anytime soon. No, of course not. That's where we live. That's the clickbait world. There's how many times have you seen, a tweet or a headline? Which, like, perfect example is yesterday. How many? You probably could have counted up the amount of tweets or headlines that said Sharks get back 2 players or whatever. They could have easily just said, Couture and Sturm back with Sharks.
Right.
But no, they got, they have, and it's the shit that like radio used to do. You know, it's there's one receiver that could really make a difference in the game next week. We'll tell you when we get back. You know,
the Warriors have a Kevin Durant-sized hole, and only one player can fill it.
Exactly. So
is it Kevin Durant?
Yeah, it's that type of shit. So that's I don't mean to be like the old guy screaming at clouds meme, but fuck, dude. Like, I want the technology to like make our lives easier, make us better, and instead it's like, fuck, man, can we just go back to like 2007?
Well, let me ask you this question.
Before the iPhone came out?
Because this is how I feel. I'm curious to know if you feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I understand, like...
Oh, we need to do OnlyFans now?
I understand building anticipation and teasing things. Like, I understand that, and I support that.
Oh,
but at the same
time...
I hate it too, but I understand it. But are you not like me where it's like whenever you see that kind of shit, it's just like, fuck, I do not want to wait around to find out. I'll just look it up later.
Oh, dude, totally that. Like, I will never forget. Well, I've actually forgotten part of it, but I remember I was listening to KNBR they were talking, you know, there was something with the Giants or something with the Niners. There was something I cared about in the moment. And they did one of those things where it was, such and, who's going to be the difference in this Giants game? Something with the start. I wish I could remember what the stupid question was, but it was, we'll get into that when we return, or after these, words from our sponsor, and I'm going, you understand that I have a device with me that I can fucking, literally, like, whatever that question was, I like took my phone and went, hey, Google, who's the starting pitcher for the Giants next Saturday? And it's like, oh, it's so-and-so, blah, blah. Oh, okay, thanks. So now it's like, I don't have to listen to your bullshit.
Right.
It's like, I understand the tickle your ass with a feather kind of a thing, but there's a way that you can do it instead of saying, there's one pitcher that can make all the difference next week and blah, blah, blah. We're good. We'll get into that next. Just say, Madison Bumgarner will be the difference in the series against LA this week. And when we come back, we'll get into why.
Yeah.
That's the way you could do it. But anyway, yes, I'm allowed to have beers. Not a lot, but I'm allowed. Oh, man. Did Patrick Waugh win?
Yeah.
Overtime? Shootout?
In overtime. Bo Horvat. So
hey now.
This means two things. Number one, this means the new coach bump is now 4-1 this season.
Do I get credit for an AJ bump since the Sharks won at home for like the first time in forever and I was there?
I think that can be arranged.
Let's see if it comes through this Saturday. I'm going Saturday too.
But so the new coach bump is now 4-1, and also me believing in the new coach bump won me some money. So that's always nice. And those listening who know how much I love Bo Horvat, he's the one who got the OT winner. So it's like a real just awesome cocktail for tonight. Yeah, that's all I got.
Chris, I didn't even notice this. Teal Town would be 10 times bigger if only we'd done clickbait. We put it all out there for free. God damn it. Yeah. And remember, early on, at one point, we discussed the idea of doing Patreon. And we're like, what kind of assholes are we?
Pucknology After Dark is brought to you by Audible.
Oh, dude, that sucked. I hated that. Anyway, dude, if your team is on a 13-game heater, do you really need to sign Corey Perry?
Yes, absolutely. Because
show your work.
Well, because we talked about it last, dude. I think I even mentioned Corey Perry last week, but we talked about it. Where yes, the Oilers are buzzing, but it's the same thing as always. Where the top guys are carrying most of the load, and admittedly they are getting more depth contributions this year, but there's always room to grow, especially for Edmonton's depth. And you bring in somebody who, despite everything, has played, can still play at an NHL level, can contribute, been there before, all that kind of stuff. And
coming out of the All-Star break, Who's getting more time on ice, Kane or Perry?
I mean, it should. I mean, like Evander. I mean, it will be Evander Kane. Like that's not a question. But
we'll see.
But like I see no downsides to Corey Perry signing with the Oilers because at worst, he's gonna do exactly what the rest of Edmonton's depth is already doing. But on the other side of it, he provides some depth scoring. I hate he's been there before, but like somebody who's won a cup and gone through like a playoff grind, like that's valuable.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody on the Edmonton Oilers that can say that.
Right. Yeah. Corey, whatever your thoughts are on Corey Perry, he's been to 4 Stanley Cup finals. And, so I think it's going to be really good for them. And I think it's smart by them because, instead of overpaying with draft picks for a guy at the trade deadline, they get a guy now who they can integrate into their system, and it only costs them money,
Yeah, next to nothing. All right, so let's get to our tweet of the week as we continue on here. I don't understand why the Sharks decided to talk to this guy, but whatever. The Sharks on Twitter goes, "We're heading to a shootout. Let's go Sharks." And then 9 rounds later, sad face. And then somebody, Yotes legend Jacob Chikrin is the account, says, "You motherfuckers really just cost me $750 win after being up in the shootout. You have got to be fucking kidding me." And for whatever reason, the Sharks responded to this cat and just put, bummer.
See, so a couple of things. Number one is that might be Ryan's burner account. Number two, the absolute right comment to make from the Sharks, because like, what do you care? You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
but I just that the Sharks would respond, like, had me floored.
I don't know. The
like,
Sharks Twitter account has gotten kind of lippy this year, like in the best of ways. Like,
I'm assuming that the person that was the primary admin is gone from a few years ago, right?
Based on the vibe of these tweets, I think you could safely
infer
that. But who knows? That might be a new protocol on social media. I have no idea. But yeah, I mean, the thing is, like if you're gonna, like, don't get me wrong, dude. Like, I've gotten pissed off at losing bets, just as everybody has. But like, to let it weigh on you that much, like, just fucking get over yourself. Like, I lost a shitload of bets today, and I'm fine. Like,
you don't feel the need to fucking hit people up on social media and motherfuckers and okay.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be like somebody somebody was mouthing off about Stephon Diggs, who plays for the Bills, and he threw out a tweet a few weeks ago. He was like, "Gotta be honest, I don't care when you lose your parlay." And I'm like, yeah, that's the way it should be, like, who gives a shit?
Okay, so based on what Puck Guy is saying, it is no longer Ann at the wheel. Okay, which totally tracks. And then evidently there is somebody behind the CUDA admin that does not have a fan in here. And that's fine. Not everything is for everybody. It's good. But speaking of the Barracuda.
Ooh, Barracuda.
When is something going to change with this goddamn team? All right, the CUDA dropped a pair in Charlotte, a 5-4 overtime loss in which McIniemi was pulled after the first 2 minutes and 15 seconds. Then a 4-1 loss in the following game. The CUDA then dropped a pair in Colorado, including a loss earlier today to the Eagles. The Sharks minor league affiliate is currently on a 9-game skid. They're dead last in their division. The only silver lining, I guess you could say, is Tristan Robbins did score his first, second, and third goals on the season in 3 straight games. The Barracuda play 3 this week, all at home, facing the Condors on Wednesday and a pair against the Wranglers on Friday and Saturday. Remember that Friday night game will be televised on NBCS California. If memory serves, I believe that is the last Barracuda game that will get television this go-around for the season. But Saturday night is Pink in the Rink, so dress appropriately, people. And remember to follow Teal Town USA along with Ian Reed, Sharks Jules, Kevin Lacey, Mark E. Mark on the Tweety for the live tweets and GIFs and analysis of the CUDA stuff. But good Lord, how can this continue? and no changes. Like, I'm surprised there aren't a couple of hardcore fans. Tell me if I'm wrong. Is it just like AHL fans are just more like too forgiving, or they just don't like, they're just so happy to be there. Like, they just don't give a shit. How are there people not holding signs at CUDA games saying, "Love you, J-Mac, but you got to go"?
I don't know. I don't know. I kind of think and I'm not really an authority to speak on this.
Lacey, get in here.
Well, I mean, really, like, Ian, Kevin, and Jules, they did a show on Wednesday where they kind of dove into all of that head first, and it actually has done really well. So if you
good. Well, go check that out, people.
Go check that out. I don't know. I kind of just think it's I don't know. I don't want to speculate and be wrong, but it kind of just feels like if I were assigning my viewpoint to everybody else, it's kind of like you just want to be excited, and you kind of want the prospects to develop the right way. But I do wonder though if his time is gonna.
There's no way in hell that somebody's gonna come along or we're gonna have two people get it. And you're like, motherfucker, where you had to get the game, the period, the shots on goal, best without going over, and Tyga, you were this close. Oh, you were so close. You had the game, you had the period, you just went one too many on the shots, bro. Oh, so close. And dude, you and I way off. when we tried to do that answer shit, like, we gave you the answer last time. No, dude, we were I was way more off than you, but
we had the right game.
That's true. That is true. But yeah, Tyga, you Aussie cunt. I'm telling you, I cannot believe that, dude. You were the closest, but you went over. And so, who are the winners this week? I can't believe we have two.
So the winners. So for those who don't know, it was Buffalo, third period, 16 shots on goal. That was the period this week with the most shots allowed. So the one person that said Buffalo third period, which as AJ mentioned was Tiger, went over. So from there, again, it's a whole process. From there, we look at all the people that said the Buffalo game. Mm-hmm. And then we look at, from there, we look at the shots closest without going over. And the winners
unbelievable
is Chris.
Who?
And Chris Plakos, I apologize, and Kai Fern. Both of them said Buffalo, second period, 16 shots on goal, which 16 was the number. Buffalo was the game, just had the period wrong. So they were the closest. Both of them are the winners. Shipping addresses have been requested. One of them I already have. The other I'm waiting on.
Are they local? Or is the one person you got, is it local? Or are they in another state, different area of California?
The one person I have, let me pull it up. The one address that I have thus far.
I'm just morbidly curious.
So one of them is in, I'm not going to say where, but one of them is in California.
Okay.
And the other is in also California.
Okay. So they are local. I'd say, because every once in a while, it's fun that, what was it there? Like, I remember sending out 2 prize packs like over the last week or so, and one went to like Central California, but the other one went to like somewhere in Michigan or something. And I'm like, whoa, wait, what? So, I always get a kick out of that. So, and these are, again, 2 new winners. We, Tyga, I love you, pal, but oh man. But are we going to give Tiger an extra raffle ticket though for coming so close?
No, he does not get a raffle ticket for coming close, but he does get a raffle ticket. I don't remember what week it was, but there was that week where he won and then deferred.
Yes. Oh, of course. All right.
He gets it for that.
So, how do you want to do this? We got to do something with Couture and Sturm coming back. So, my options to you, unless you have a better one,
Couture shots on goal.
Couture shots on goal?
Maybe.
Oh, see,
We could do ice time.
I was gonna say, I really feel like shots on goal opens it up to like more multiple winners. There's gonna be like, I don't know how many people that are like, yeah, 11 sounds right, over 3 and then motherfucker's gonna put up 12, and we're gonna have like 8 people that said Couture, 11, and I'm gonna be like, God damn it, I can't send out 11 packs. So, all right,
Not with that attitude.
Couture time on ice this week. So the Sharks play 3 games this week. Last I looked, at Los Angeles tomorrow, then hosting the Rangers, and then, dude, another weird scheduling quirk. Like last week, game Monday, Tuesday, then Saturday, and then this week Monday, Tuesday, then Saturday. I can't remember the last time I saw 2 consecutive weeks, and the boys had 3 straight days off.
Right.
Perhaps, I don't know, practice special teams. Think about it. Consider it. But 3 games, as I said, at LA, then hosting the Rags, and looking for redemption against the Sabres. What will Couture's time on ice be? Do we know what it was last night? And while you find that, perhaps next week, maybe we'll do Sturm's face-off winning percentage. I don't know. But either way, the way to enter is you email. Don't put it in the goddamn chat right now because those won't count. Email hockeyjerk10. That's all one word. hockeyjerk10@gmail.com with your answers. This is cumulative time on ice for Logan Couture over the 3 games that they are playing this week. Your answers must be submitted before the puck drops in Los Angeles tomorrow, or shall we say January 22nd, 2024. As long as it's submitted by then, you're in. Remember, if you win and you're outside the continental contiguous, if you want, U.S. 48 states, you want the pack, you have to cover the freight on that. I like to give away stuff, but I'm not shilling out money. What did Couture do yesterday versus Anaheim, good sir?
He had 15 minutes and 49 seconds of ice time.
So a little sheltered.
Little bit, which I think makes sense considering obviously coming back from an injury that's kept him out all year. But the thing to keep in mind as well is there was a lot of special team moments in this game.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of see some things kind of get goofy that way. So I think as the games go on, his time will go up.
I would imagine the time would go up a little bit. But again, like you just mentioned, Couture is a special teamer both ways.
Yep.
So take that into account when offering your answer. And of course, I have to ask you right now, how many submissions do you have?
Let's see.
It's at least 2, right?
Right now we have 0.
Oh, I'm shocked. Well, you know what? Let's take a look at that number before we end. On the bets, like we said earlier, you're feeling a little more froggy about the taco games.
I mean, I'm still optimistic, but
that is not a word I would use to describe you about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that at this point in the season it's only 3 is a bit concerning.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, 20 to go.
Yeah.
1 out of every 5. 20%. But there have been times when the law of averages had their shit pushed in. Just saying. Coming up this week, it's again the Sharks going down to LA, who, like we said, dude, just going through it right now. Since pumping the Sharks 5-1 just after Christmas, the Kings have gone 1-6-4. And then whatever they did again, did they beat the Rangers the other day? I can't imagine they would have. So I'm going to guess that they're 1-7-4 right now. I just don't understand what has happened to their scoring and tending, but it is what it is. On the 25th of November, Edmonton was 16 points behind LA. On the 30th of December, Edmonton was 10 points behind. And following Thursday night's games, they were 1 point ahead. This is totally Woodcroft's fault in Edmonton, by the way. Totally. Yeah, dude. This shit keeps up. They're going to take the Pacific Division by Valentine's Day and the league by like leap day. Woof. But did the Kings beat the Rangers or no? I can't imagine.
They did 2-1.
Holy shit! All right, 2-6-4. Wow.
It was a squeaker.
Yeah. Well, that's the only way they're going to get through it. The next night, the Sharks host the Rangers, who, despite being the top team in the Metro, have lost 4 of their last 5 road games, and quite the pedestrian 4-5-1 over their last 10, and their penalty kill at 28th during that stretch. So obviously not much better than San Jose. And then finally, the Sharks will host the Sabres next Saturday. Remember, this is a rare matinee game again. So the Sharks will have the chance to avenge being shut out in Buffalo last Monday. It is kind of funny if you think about it. They play Buffalo twice this season. One game starts at 1 p.m. The other one started at 9 a.m. locally. Interesting. Don't see that very often. It is Pride Day, remember, next Saturday. So, again, dress appropriately if you're going to the game. And so, any last words from you, good sir, before we get the hell on out of here?
Go Niners.
Dude, you right. Well, remember, it's already in the script, right? Ravens, Niners?
Yeah, that's many people are saying.
Did you get to the page where they had the final score written down, or no?
No, I'm not at that part of the book yet.
Isn't the Super Bowl like taking place in your backyard this year?
Yeah.
Oh, how's that been working out? I mean, I'm sure it's no fucking Formula One debacle, but how's it running?
I mean, they've already started setting up the television panel at the Bellagio fountains.
I heard they did some interesting shit out front to Treasure Island.
Yeah, they decommissioned the volcano to do kind of a different football centric setup. I'm curious to know what it's going to look like if the Niners do go to the Super Bowl. I kind of want to dip my toe into some of the fan access stuff, but at the same time, I'm kind of leaning towards just staying as far away from the strip as possible. Which, I mean, that's already
you're like, I'm just here for this one
anyway.
pin, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh,
well,
yeah. All right. Well, on Twitter, you can follow him at hockey_jerk. You can follow me at AJ_strong. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and leave your take in the comments section of this video if you were not able to join us live. And if you were not able to join us live, what the hell, man? We're here. There was no football on. It was all over. But you can help keep us commercial free by using that super chat option, as Mitcha did earlier today. Or better yet, use Venmo. Find us at Tealtown USA. And remember, if you're listening on Apple, a bitchin' rating, cool review would be awesome. We haven't had an Apple review in a while, so it's like, hey, let's pump those numbers up, little kids. You can find links to our social media and more included in the show notes, and find everything on tealtownusa.com. Remember to check out After Dark following every single Sharks game. So that means tomorrow, following Sharks at LA, we got After Dark rolling. So we thank you so much for joining us on this Sunday night. And I guess what can we say? I think now here it is, your moment of Zen.
Fuck, man. Thank you, guys.